reading is the process of running through written words. It can be symbols, like symbols. What are symbols? They can be words. You just run through them for the purpose of what? For the purpose of getting meaning from them. Okon is a boy. I just wrote like Okon is a boy. Okon is a boy. And then you are reading. You are running through this. These are written words. Okon is a word. Is a boy. They are words. So you are running through it for the purpose of doing what? Getting meaning from it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is the meaning of reading. Now, during your comprehension, you will be reading the whole thing. So I am going to expose you to the different forms of reading that is very much okay. And then I will give you the recommended one for you to use during your comprehension. Now, I believe you have gotten the meaning of reading. I believe you know that reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. There are some days I wake up and I have back pain, maybe because of the way I slept. And then you know what I would do? I'll simply sit on the floor, stretch my legs, my hand touch my toe, and then I try to take my head in between my legs to touch the ground. I try to strain this particular part. And once I do that like 1, 2, 3 times, and then I get up, I take bath, the pains will go. Sometimes when I wake up and feel like I feel pains in other part of my body, I'll simply do press up. I can do like 50, 25, 25. And then once I do that, and then I decide to sit down, I'll be feeling heat. My body and relieving me of that pain. So reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. All right. Different types of reading. For the purpose of this class, the number 1 type of reading is scanning. Scanning. Scanning is one of those kinds of reading where you search for a particular piece of information. Scanning is one of those kinds of reading where you search for a particular piece of information. You search for a particular piece of information. Take note, your eyes, full stop, your eyes quickly skim. Skim is on the board. Your eyes quickly skim over the sentences. Quickly skim over the sentences until you find the piece of information you are looking for. Next line. Use this method when you don't need to go deep into the text. Use this method when you don't need to go into the text and read every word carefully. Full stop. Scanning involves rapid reading. Full stop. We go to the next one, skimming. Through this method, you try to understand the text in short. This method saves a lot of time. Skimming is a great way to get a broad idea of the topic being discussed. Now, when you use skimming, you want to get the broad idea of the whole book or the whole passage. Unlike scanning, if I ask you to scan a passage now, I want you to check for a specific something in the passage. Scanning is a fast reading, very fast. You just run your eyes through it. But then let me explain what scanning is. Scanning, you have something in mind that you are looking for in this particular passage. That's why it is important that you go through your questions. Not all the 5 questions will stick to your brain, but then 1 or 2 will stick to your brain. And in the question that you have a strange word, introduction of a strange word, when you get to the passage and find the strange word, you remember, I thought I saw something like this in the question, and then you will just hold on there and go back to the question. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then answer the question. If the answer is direct, if the question was direct and the answer is direct, you will just click on the answer and move. You are done for that with that one. Why you have to use scanning method first is to fasten your time, because you will have 100 questions to answer. This 100, don't forget, you have 180 minutes. This is 2 hours counting down. 100 in English, 40 in all others. So when you spend much more time in English, remember that you have courses like chemistry and physics for science. For commercial, you have something like mathematics. For art, you have something like let me say government, literature in English. Forms of reading. What we are going to talk about is SQ3R. SQ3R. And then this is what? Survey, question. And then we have read, recite, review. Read, recite, revise. In the course of your answering comprehension, the only thing you just need is what? You just don't need these two. Just survey the question, move over, read the comprehension, answer the passage, leave to some other things. So survey question, read, recite, revise rather. Let me just complete it before we move quickly. The number 2 forms of reading is OK4R. OK4R. O is what? Overview, key point, read, reflect, and revise. This one doesn't really matter. This one doesn't really matter. And then we have 3S, 3R. We have survey, study reading, speed reading, recite, review, and reflect. Recite, review, and reflect. Then number 4, we have PS3R. We have preview, scheme, read, recite. This will not be strange for you in your year 1. Now, all these forms are used in a particular context. It's not all the context you apply them. For example, people that edit newspapers, they can decide to use any form here. People that edit magazines, they can decide to use any form here. People that edit textbooks, the textbooks you write. I believe you know that, for example, you've written a textbook. It is very much important for you to take the textbook to an editor, someone to edit your manuscript for you. You understand? So that is that. In your own case, what you really need for this comprehension passage is just survey question, then you read. Make sure you go through the first question before you read the paragraph, the passage, and all of those. Now, right, poor reading habits. Poor reading habits. Number 1, someone will be moving head. Can remember? Oh God, is a that's how you do, right? That's not how you do. Movement of the head while reading is a poor reading habit. Movement of the head. Number 2, pointing of fingers. They went to school and start pointing your fingers. You will not consider if you were in the first paragraph or in the second paragraph. But if you are reading very well, you will know, oh, this I've entered paragraph 2. So even though you are called, once you come back, you will just say, oh, I was in paragraph 2. You simply do what? You simply scan the passage to where you stopped and then you move on. Do you understand? The third one, avoid your eye movement. The eye movement sometimes follow movement of the head. You are moving, you are just look at the paper. Survey question is this. Okay. And this and this and this. What posture? And another one is vocalization. You speak. For example, if you are reading among a group and everybody is reading that thing, if we don't ask you, one person should read so that we all listen. Please don't read out loud. You will be confusing us correctly. That takes us to the end of comprehension and then brings us to what we call syllables. I'll start with what someone sent to me: stupidity. Okay, if you are going to stress this word, now, first of all, let's divide it into syllables. How many syllables is this? Let's divide it. Tell me, let's go. Okay, so here this is something. Okay, okay. So how many syllables? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 syllables. All right. So if you are going to stress it, how do you stress it? What's the stress here? What's the stress here? Emilia, what is the stress here? D. Okay, so A we have D. B. What else? It is on Paul. 2. Glory. Humble. What's your stress? What's your stress here? You said T? Okay. Stupidity. You don't feel it. Now, stupidity. Now, we are going to stress every single syllable here. Let's start from stupidity. 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 That's we are here now. Stupidity. No, stupidity. So which one sounds more friendly? So stupidity. So what is the stress here? All right. So that is the stress. So if you're writing, you will see the option like this too. P. Okay. We go to another one. I'm just introducing this. Congratulations. Congratulations. Now, let's break it into different syllables. The first one. Oh, come on, everybody. So where does it stop? N or G? Okay, so this is one. Okay, so congratulations, you have seen the glory of God. Okay, now we are all. What's your answer? What's the stress here? Let. Okay, now we are going to stress all of the words, all of the syllables. Let's start. Now, congratulations. This one, the intonation. If you check, when you check your dictionary, how to know the word that the stress is on, the syllable that the stress is on, you would see something like this. By the side of the particular one. Do we have a dictionary around here? No, we don't have. Congratulations. Now let's continue. Congratulations. 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 So which one sounds more friendly? Congratulations. Intermediary. Okay. So we have congratulations. Congratulations. So we have it that the stress falls on. So in our next class, I am going to give you all the principles. I just brought out these two. Okay, for example, we want to stress this. What is the stress? Seahorse. Okay? So we have it, let me write it here. Seahorse. Okay, we want to stress this. How many syllables do we have here? How many syllables? Let's count. So how many syllables? Which one? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's the stress? Now, eternity. 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 So what's the stress? Ta. So if you're writing it here, now if you're stressing this word, what is the stress? So the stress is on what? Now in our next class, I am going to give you rules that govern all of this. We have treated 1, 2, 3, 4. Stress this word as a noun. How many syllables is here? 2. Stress this word as a noun. I will not leave the class for him. You can fix some other time, okay? Stress this word as a noun. Stress this word as a verb. Emilia, what is a noun? What is a noun, Emilia? A noun is Emilia. Stress this word as a noun. Stress it as a verb. So that means we have 2 pronunciation of this, right? Good. So let's go with the noun pronunciation of this. Okay? The verb pronunciation of this. Oh, someone is still pronouncing the same thing. Consent and consent. So we have a rule to stressing words. There are some words that they have 2 different pronunciation, right? But the same word. That means those words function as what? A noun and what? A verb. A verb is an action word. So if you're talking to me and you say, he gave me his consent, you are not telling me to consent to something, to an agreement. I don't know if you understand what I just said. Nancy, did you understand what I just said? Okay, now, if you are telling me to consent to something, Eh? If you are telling me to consent to something, it's different from when let me break it down again. He gave his consent for the transaction. Please consent to this. They are two different things. Nancy, are you following? I'm going to take it again. He gave his consent for this transaction. That means he gave something. He said something. It is either he said go on or do not go on. He said something. But then consent to this transaction, we are asking you to do what? We are asking you to say something. It is a verb. Do you understand now? Consent to this transaction. It is a verb. We are not asking you to do something, but he gave his consent. Do you understand? He gave his consent. Now, this consent is this word here is now acting as what? A noun and not what? A verb. So, bring down your brains. Don't worry, you're going to take it from this crash. This crash. You're going to take it from this crash. So now, in the syllables that we will be treating, we will talk about the rules that govern stressing four-syllabic word, 5, 3. We don't have any three-syllabic word here. We have 2 here. 2, 3. Okay, something like this. How many syllabic word is this? Okay, so let's stress it. We have here, right? VIC, we have here, right? And then we have here, right? That's beautiful. So let's first of all stress this one. Let's go. 1 to go. Oh God, this one is still stressed. Victory. Then this one. Victory. Let's stress this one. Victory. So what's the correct stress? Victory. Who's by that name? Okay, let's stress this name. How many syllabic word is this? How many syllables? So let's stress it. Let's start from this one. No. This one, let's raise this one. Yeah. Then let's stress this one. Let's go. Let's stress this one. Now let's stress this one. Emilia. So what's the correct stress? Okay, let's stress this word. How many stress do we have here? Emilokan. It is a presidential word. I just brought it. So you stress this, and then we can also decide to stress this name. How many syllables? So what is the correct stress? So now you say Nancy, not Nancy, but some people normally call Nancy. And so sometimes when you call the name like that, to me it looks as if you're coming from one village like that, Nancy. But to be a town chick, Nancy. You understand? So all of these stress patterns, they have what we call rules that govern them. One of the rules is when you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 syllabic words that ends in shon, stress the second syllables from the end of the word. So if we bring please give me words that end in shun. One, two, three, four, five. So what is the correct stress here? Matriculation. Uh, uh, presentation. Is it up to five? One, two, three, four. Okay. 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 Now let's bring this thing. Pronounce this one. So now, are the two the same meaning? They are not the same meaning, but one word. You understand? So which one is a noun and which one is a verb? What do you say? So he gave him a present. Yeah, now, what's my present? Is it Talantere? It may say Talantere. So why is it strange now? Nancy, is it strange? What may say Talantere? You didn't give me my birthday present. When is your birthday? December. So how many persons are you going to call for present, birthday present? He brought me a car as my birthday present. And then present this to your father when you get home. I'm asking you to do something. It is an action word. Present this. Okay? Which other word? Which other word? Okay? So, words that end in shun, 5 letters, 5 syllables, you stress the second from the end. You understand? And then there is another rule that matches over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kinds of words together. And then when we come to a compound word, what do you understand by a compound word? Okay, what do you understand by a compound? Nancy, what do you understand by a compound? What do you understand by a compound? Like, you people all live in a compound. What do you understand by a compound? Emilia, what do you understand by a compound? Okay, then bring back your mind. Bring back your mind. Leave English alone. What do you all are living in a compound? Leave English alone. You all are living somewhere. What do you understand by a compound? Leave English alone. What do you say? What do you say? Love it, what do you say? Surrounding, environment. You are still correct, but it's something I'm looking for. Still. Okay, now you only have your house in this particular place. Can you call this place a compound? Fine, you can call it a compound in terms of environment, but in the real sense, it is not a compound except we have 2 or more houses in the same place. So you call it a compound because it is compounding 2 to 3 to 4 houses. Do you understand? So if you're asking for a particular person, and then I only know the compound, I don't know the street, the house. I'll tell you, check that compound. Just ask around one of those houses. You understand? So a compound is what? A compound is what? It is a group of 2 or 3. Nancy, are you with me? This one you're finding yourself. Also find your brain so that you can enter as well. A compound is a group of two or more things, right? How many of you did chemistry here? You know what we call compound, you know what we call mixture, you know what we call what? Element, right? So you know that a compound is a two or more thing, and then these two or more things can actually exist on their own. Now your father now decides to break out of that compound. Ake ay ngobe ne fence mo di bom tum akana ngo wang ida kale. I know so. I ngobe ne fence mo ku for ko ke compound wo. I ngobe ne fence mo di bom akana all of those things. So in English, what we call compound words are two words that can actually stand on their own, and when they stand on their own they make sense. For example, woodwork is a compound word because wood is what you know, work is what you know. Seahorse is a compound word. Sea, you know. Horse, you know. What other one? Please give me more compound words. uh, uh, what? Seashore. Yeah. Continue. Barefooted. Right? Bare and footed. So what the rule, at least if you've not gotten anything today in the syllabus, in the introduction of the syllabus, the stress syllabus. What you should understand is that in compound words, stress the first word. That is the answer. You stress the first word. Why is, we don't know the particular pattern of stress JAMB will say to you. That is the reason we give you the formula for everyone, so that any word they just write, you know. If it is a compound word is a group of two words that you know the meaning of each of the words. So just take note of that. Stress the first word, the first word. That one is regarded as the first syllable. Your answer is correct. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then okay. And then if, for example, you have words like this, please take note of, but it is in rare cases they will ask you. They ask all of this kind of questions in a very logical aptitude test. For example, they want to test your your brain if you're sharp. They will bring very simple questions. I made you wanna. Okay, something happened last week. I was writing something. Now, listen to what I'm going to say. I'm listening to what I write. Look at what I write. Accreditation. Accreditation. I am right? I'm correct. But if I did not call your attention to it the second time, you would say I'm correct, right? So now I was actually writing something. So what I was writing in my mind was accreditation, but this is what I wrote. So a lady came towards me and decided to check my notes, what I was jotting, and then she asked me, please, what's the full meaning of the acronym? I just said this accreditation. Yeah, but okay, accreditation. Yeah, yeah, but it's not. I told her I wrote accreditation. Check it again. She now pointed out. So, accreditation. What I'm actually saying, sometimes these kinds of things are used in high aptitude tests. Sometimes you can say, I answered all the questions. But then, imagine you are writing something. That time you used to write essay. You would say, I wrote it very well. But then coming to check, we are having some misspellings. We are having some spellings that are shortened, and the rest of the thing. Are you following what I'm saying? So this ones comes highly intellectual aptitude test. JAMB has not gotten to that level to change questions. They only introduce a very few questions yearly. They are always too busy because their server is not. If the gen is on, please fix, close this glass very well. But then, as I'm going, if I happen to be the one to set jam question, my question will be very simple but very logical. A lot of people will be scoring 20. It's not my prayer, but they will be very simple like this, but very logical, very very logical, because you that have been here in the class and someone that is not here in the class, and then I say stress this word in order of verb. Someone will say present. Available on the control, and some will not even know. Okay? So we are going to talk on stress, and we are going to, I believe I am going to use next week to cover the stress. The note is very broad. I will start on time. God help me. Everybody say amen. That I'm going to start by 2 o'clock. So the note is very much, and I will go through. We will copy all the notes next week, and then we use about the upper week for the question. So what I want you to do is, as you are going, questions on stress are everywhere in your past question. Go and star them. If you have past questions, go and star them. Star all of them. Star all of them. Star all of them. If you are using your phone, screenshot all of them. Don't come and show them to me. Once we come for the explanation, as we are explaining it, you will be seeing the answers by yourself. I will not tell you the answer to this one is this. Now you will go carry your mouth, tell yourself what the answer. You understand? So start now to go and look for the questions. They are everywhere from 1997. How many of us were born that time? Emilia, you were born that time. I saw you. I saw you around that time. So from that particular year till 2022, questions are everywhere on stress. Start them. If you want to copy them out, you copy them out, and then that and that. So next week there will be a test on comprehension and partially figure of speech. Okay, so please come prepared. You will be given the test before I come. So come prepared, and then I will also speak with all of your teachers. Next week they should give you tests in your respective courses, in the topics that they have done. Go and get all of you your timetable. I don't like the fact that you people are not reading what I told you people. That's what I say even to your parents. Me, I don't fear. I'll tell your father that if you are not serious, you will not score well. You must read with logic. Try to understand simple things and move on. And then 80% is you, the highest. And what is the 80%? Set timetable for yourself. Wake up and read if you are working. Simple. I've even made it very easy explaining it to you. Don't read all. Just read. Now we have done comprehension. We have entered syllables. So if you want to read English, go back and answer. Just check on what you've written down today on comprehension. Then pick up a comprehension passage. Try to answer it based on what we have taught ourselves. Move to that. Look at stress. I've told you, just start all the questions. Try to see from the past questions so far if you can see any of these words that we have treated and try to answer them. Once we come next week and I give you the notes, you go back and read. 80% is you. Let me use you. Let me just give you 70%. I remember I come and put God here, 5. I'll still put another thing. God, whatever you believe in, but I believe in God, that's why I'm using God. You pray. What are you praying for? Oh God, that day I will not be sick. I want to write my exams very well. Let me tell you why you should pray. On the day of my physics, the day I was to write physics theory and OBJ, a long time ago, I had accident. I thought I've said that thing before. I didn't write the physics. That's why I had C. That's the only something I had C. The rest was A and B. I had C in physics. Why I had it was because of the practical that I did. The practical gave me a C. I did not write the theory. That's the subjective and the objective. So stuff like that can actually happen. Maybe 1 or 2 days to your exam, something happens, and then you get destabilized. It will not happen to any of us here. That's why you have to stay close to your tutor. If something happens that wants to destabilize your mind, please tell me. We will simply take it out till you write the exams. The way the country is now, you have to move as fast as possible. It's not all of you that will be able to live in Nigeria. And so one of the easiest way to leave Nigeria is to have a first degree, go out there and further your masters. Not all of you are strong body to withstand frustration and pain and all of this. Very soon you will start hearing people are committing suicide. You understand? That's always been the case. So you have to move as fast as possible. You don't have to write JAMB again. This should be if this is your first time, this should be the first and the last. If this is your second time, this should be the second and the last. If this is your third time, this should be the third and the last. So you have to do yourself that favor. Set your timetable, read, pray. Read, pray. Read, pray. Okay? We're all gonna smile at the end of it all. Do we have any question to ask? Nancy, do you have a question to ask me? You don't have a question? Covenant, you have a question to ask me? Glory, do you have a question to ask? Ambassador, do you have a question? Israel, do you have a question to ask? Emmanuel, do you have a question to ask? Emilia, do you have a question to ask? Editon Paul, do you have a question? Fidela, do you have a question to ask? 18 Book, do you have a question to ask? Love it, do you have a question to ask? Daniel, do you have a question to ask? Ambu, do you have a question to ask? No question. Okay, so since there is no question, we have come to the end of comprehension. I leave it into your hands from here. Read your past questions. And then the CBT has started. You resume. Have you grouped them? Are you with it? Can I say it? Okay, group them and give them days. We are going to group you people into either 3 or 4. We will give you a day, such that even if any other person comes on that day, the person is not entitled to CBT. Only that particular group is entitled. And the doors of this place will always be open from 12 now. And once you come in from 12, please, you are coming to read. If I catch you distracting or making noise, I will deal. No, I will not deal with you. I will not deal with you. You understand? So maybe by tomorrow, the groupings will be out, and then you will know your days. So you can just come in your group and do CBT while waiting for your class. Okay? So since we have come to the end of the class today, ladies and gentlemen, please go back and read.